What's going on, y'all? Look, let me get in here and let me just talk to y'all for a second, honey. I'm going to be regretting this in the morning because my behind got to work. But I just had to come on tonight and have a little chat with y'all real quick at 1:04 in the morning and let y'all know that, baby, it went down tonight on YouTube. You hear me? Honey, let me tell you, Miss Nene Leaks, she is all right with me, okay? One thing I can say about her is that if she ever got anything to clear up, you best to believe the queen is going to come through, okay? And reclaim her throne. So with that being said, let's just get right into it. So tonight, I was minding my own business, honey. I had just woke up from the old sickening nap. I had to get my beauty rest so this face can look, good and snatched all the time, 24/7. And so, I'm minding my own business, trying to catch up on the housewives of the, I think, Untold Secrets or something. They had some kind of special. They had something to tie us over to the reunion next week. So I'm minding my own business, and all of a sudden, I think I mistakenly must have clicked over because I was already watching on YouTube the actual housewife, even though I had DVR'd it, but some people go back and post the whole show on YouTube. So I'm over here watching the show on YouTube, and I missed around, honey. I had clicked over to another channel, and it just so happened, honey, it was Michelle ATLien Michelle ATLien Brown. I put a name up, maybe, I don't know, but it's Michelle ATLien Brown, and she's been around for a while. She actually used to do a blog called, and I think it still exists if I'm not mistaken, but she does a blog called Straight from the A.com, I think I want to say it is. I have to sit here and find the actual link to it and post it, but she's been around in these streets for a while, and she's kind of what I would say one of the people, just kind of like I don't know if you all are familiar with FreddieO.com, stuff like that. She's like one of the Atlanta well-known of who's who bloggers in Atlanta that kind of has like the end, with all of the girls as far as on the Housewives. Well, most of all the girls on the Housewives franchise. So she kind of is one of those people that, has built her brand pretty much with all things of Atlanta. And as you know, the Housewives of Atlanta, is based out of Atlanta. And as a result of that, she kind of has the hookup. So with that being said, she knows Nene Leakes personally, and she knows a lot of as far as the history of Housewives of Atlanta as it pertains to the show in general. So with that being said, honey, I decided to go throw on me a old nice Johnny Gill number, and go ahead and try to hop on her live. And Lord behold, unbeknownst to me, I was able to get through, which you're going to see in the thumbnail. I'm going to post for this video that I was able to get onto her live and share my opinion. So tonight, she basically, from when I came in, I have to go back and watch from the beginning, basically was talking about Nene Leakes as far as, her posting a video that she posted earlier today or earlier yesterday in regards to her thoughts on the reunion. So basically, Miss Nene Leakes, honey, came through, and posted a video earlier on her page at Nene Leakes on YouTube, basically just talking about how she felt, kind of over it as far as with the reunion. She basically went into a lot of details as it pertains to how the reunion was, a lot of that as far as behind the scene things that were going on that we probably, won't get a chance to actually see, such as like, how the actual theme, as they have a theme every year when it comes to the Housewives and what the girls are going to wear, how all of that came into play. She, talked about as far as her actual, as far as the things that she was asked on the show. She discussed her opinions on the reunion, how she felt about, some of the things that, she was being asked as it pertains to her, on this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And, some of the things that stuck out to me as I had, explained on Michelle's live was that she mentioned that she felt set up initially by production from Bravo. And when I say set up, basically, as you know, they all have a theme, as I said, starting off with the reunion. The girls are told, as far as what color scheme to wear so that they all, look on one accord. And basically, she was, told that two other girls on the show was going to wear white. Okay, so as we know, a lot of times, whenever they do these reunions, they try to, make sure everybody is coordinated in one, at least, one color palette. So typically how it works is that, you may have where most of the girls may wear like a shade of a color and then another shade to contrast that. However, they have done it in the past to where I have seen them all in white. So I have actually seen them, as we all have, on one of the seasons of reunions to where they all, actually wore white on the set. So I guess maybe that was a thing this year. I'm not sure. All I know is that she said that, her meeting that she had with the executive, she was told that, two of the other girls was wearing white. As a result, they recommended that she wear another color. She went with a black ensemble. She ended up keeping that ensemble on until she got to the actual, sitting down in front of the camera. And then that's when she realized and saw, as far as like the other girls wearing, white, not just the other girls, but pretty much every single person, including friends of the show, Tanya and Marlo. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she actually texted Marlo, and Marlo said that she was wearing white as well. So it was at that point that she texted her husband and was like, do you think that I should change my wardrobe? And Greg told her yes, because they are going to paint you out, meaning production, as a villain here on when it comes to the Edmonton, to make it look like that, hey, all the other girls are wearing white. Here it is, Nene, she's doing her own thing as usual, being rebellious and all this stuff. Like, I really feel like that Andy has an end for Nene. And the reason why I say that is that if you remember on a few, either the reunion before this one or either one before the last reunion, Nene, when she was sitting up there with that black, shoulder dress on that went down to the floor with her hair pulled back in a ponytail, you could tell that she was over it then, because, she was just like at a point to where she was fed up with Andy. Whenever he would ask questions on the reunion, she was like, are you finished? I said what I said. It is what it is. I'm not changing my answer. She was pretty much like, okay, I'm the bad guy. Don't worry about it. Like, she was pretty much giving Andy a whole attitude on the previous reunion. And I feel like because of that, and because of her absence on the show, the lack of her presence on the show this season, as far as being in every episode, production just, pretty much was just fed up when it came to, wanting to try to get her to cooperate. So I kind of feel like this is production way of saying that, hey, now is the time to really pretty much earn your position. And so with that being said, I kind of feel like that they set her up by telling her to wear another color so that they could paint her out to be a villain. And one of the things that Nene addressed tonight was that, even though she has a tough skin, but she is still human. And I do, understand where she's coming from. A lot of times the ones that are the most, have the toughest skin, the ones that don't show emotions as far as like on camera a lot, those be the ones to where, behind closed doors, they have the biggest hearts, and we just don't see them because they keep up a guard 24/7. And I truly believe that Nene is like that. And so with that being said, she felt like that she was being set up, by production. And so as a result, she felt like she was like, well, let me go and change at the last minute. So she actually got up, while they was getting ready to, start filming, and went and, find something to go and, put on from her closet that was white to get back and start, as far as doing the taping of the reunion. So fast forward, she also mentioned in her video how, it became a thing of that as the hour progressed, the first hour or two, she noticed that all of the questions were pertaining to her. Not only were the questions pertaining to her as far as, with the actual, as far as her as an individual, but they was not actually in reference, as she stated, to anything that had to do with the actual show. Case in point, she mentioned that, she was asked about her relationship with Wendy, and the stuff that happened while we were in quarantine, you know, and everything, not as far as in reference to the show, as far as her relationship with Wendy and how was that. And that was something that she felt like was none of, you know, anybody's business. Now, what I will say about that is that, unfortunately, being on these shows like this, one of the things that you sign up for, that people that I feel like some of these, you know, celebrities and people of a, you know, famous, you know, as far as position don't realize is that you kind of sign your life away. So in actuality, as bad as I want to as much as I understand where Nene is coming from, trust me, I do. But when you look at it, it comes with a price. You got to think these girls are getting paid a lot to sit here and share every aspect of their life on camera, whether they want to or not. And if they don't cooperate, they are labeled as being difficult. And that's one of the things behind production when it comes to shows like this. If you don't give these people what they want, you will be labeled as difficult to work with. People don't want to work with you. They don't want to be bothered. And then when it comes time to, you know, do tape, and they want to edit stuff to make you look like a bad person. And pretty much at the end of the day, you're pretty much painted out to be this whole complete different person that you never intended or thought that you would be painted out to be. So I kind of feel like that was the case in Nene's case, being that she didn't want to, you know, as far as have all of this stuff put on Front Street. But because this is what she signed up for, you know, production, they don't care about your feelings. All they care about is their ratings. And as you know, right now, we are in hard times. And rest assured, being that this is their first time that they've ever had to do a virtual reunion, they was coming for well, especially with Nene, I feel like, because like I said, I feel like they had it out for her personally, but they are going to come hard. And when I say hard, I mean that nothing is off limits. So, you know, for them to bring up the Wendy thing, like I said, it was one of those things to when, you know, it goes back to the cliche saying that showbiz is just showbiz. I really do feel like that from a production standpoint. Showbiz is just showbiz, and ratings are just, that's what it is, you know, with Bravo. And I feel like that's why they brought up the whole situation with Nene. Now, as far as it concerns with Giovanna, you know, the relationship on that, you know, I feel like that, you know, Nene, you can tell that clearly this is something that bothered her, because she talked about it for a good while on Michelle's live tonight. Shortly after I had came on, she was like another caller, and then she came on the live shortly thereafter, and she talked about that, you know, of how she was upset, you know, about how, you know, you sit here and try to help someone who's not even, you know, famous or well known, and, you know, you try to sit here and give them an inch, and they basically take a mile from you and basically, you know, throw you under the bus just for, you know, 15 minutes of fame. And she, you know, went into detail, you know, with, you know, what they call Giovanna, also known as, I guess, Yo-Yo. Look, I don't know the girl name. I wasn't even really paying her any attention like that. You know, I remember when she was on the trip in Canada and all this stuff went down with the whole recording with Cynthia. You know, the only thing that I can say about that is that I don't know as far as, you know, what's the deal with this recording. My only thing is that, like I said on Nene's live tonight when she went on her own live, you gotta watch who you call a friend. Everybody, you cannot help everybody. Some people ain't meant to sit here and be helped. You gotta watch the people that are in your circle. That's why it's always important whenever you get to a certain position in life, as they say, you cannot take everybody with you. Everybody cannot go on that journey with you. Sometimes you have to know when to cut ties. And when people show you who they are, trust me, believe them the first time, okay? Don't wait for them to sit here and burn your behind and let you sit here and think that they gonna sit here and change, because that's not how it's gonna work. Believe them the first time, trust me. Take it from somebody that knows. So with that being said, I just feel like that Nene was just pretty much hurt by the fact that, you know, she, you know, as far as this whole being recorded thing and you know, as far as the conversation and the whole, you know, Giovanna pretty much being messy, you know, doing what she got to do for 15 minutes of fame. I feel like that all of that, it resulted back in Nene really showing her, you know, vulnerable side by expressing to us that, look, yeah, I may have a tough skin, but, you know, to sit here and think that I just, you know, let people, whatever they do to me, will roll off of me like repellent, like rain does when it hits, you know, a surface. Nene, wanted us to know that, hey, I am a human too. I deserve to have my feelings, be taken into consideration. And, one of the things that she made be known tonight was that when somebody F's her over, she is going to F them back. But until that happens, she is not going to do wrong by anybody. But when it comes down to it, when you cross the line with her, she's going to get you back. And I really do feel like that once this is all said and done, it is not going to end well as far as for Yvonne, because I feel like that Nene is going to drag her left and right. Because like I said, everybody is human, and sometimes, when you get to a spot to where you've been pushed to the limit, you already, be dealing with a lot as far as from other people as it is, especially in her case with Nene production, and Bravo already seeing here, it looks like they coming for her throat. Sometimes you just get tired of people sitting here and taking shots at you. Excuse me. So with that being said, I just feel like that, hey, it's one of those things to where it is what it is. And, I wish Nene the best. I will say that, this season has been very interesting, being that she was missing from a couple of episodes. And like I said, I just feel like that production, said that, hey, you may didn't sit here and come through for us with these episodes, but you doggone sure gonna come through for this reunion and give us what we want. And I feel like that was what the whole thing was about. Nene also talked about how the fact that after a while, after she felt like she kept, being the one being put on spot, nobody else's, business was being put on Front Street, she closed the damn laptop and just took off and walked off, as far as camera, because first of all, she had to go to the bathroom, and then second of all, she was just over it as far as with, the production pretty much just, targeting her out as far as when it comes to putting everything on Front Street. She mentioned on Michelle's live tonight that, why nobody didn't talk about Candy and Todd and their, issues they've been having off camera, during this whole quarantine. And she talked about, as far as the whole shooting that happened at OLG at Candy and Todd's restaurant, why nobody talked about that. She talked about why the cookie lady was not brought on, which I did think that now, if that's the case of what happened with the whole thing of them not bringing the cookie lady on as far as it pertains to Tanya's and her husband's relationship, I thought that was a bit strange, because that was a huge storyline for Kenya as far as it relates to the whole cookie lady being brought on scene to kind of like, put Tanya's husband, Lord, I can't think of that man's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about, her husband on the spot, as far as, as it pertains to, the whole infidelity situation that was brought up. Like, I thought that was kind of foul that they did not even attempt to bring that up, if that is the case of what happened. Like I said, we have not watched the reunion yet. From my understanding, it comes on next Sunday at 8 o'clock, so we would have to see exactly, what's what. But if that's what Nene is saying, then I mean, hey, it makes you wonder, like, is Bravo showing favoritism? Like, what's going on? And it's just one of those things to where I'm just like really starting to wonder, do they really have it out for her? And is Bravo trying to sabotage Nene as it pertains to her reputation? Because I just feel like that, why would you sit here? You all been taping from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and you mean to tell me that you didn't talk about anything but Nene as it pertains to her own and off-screen, issues that she's been having going on all season. You didn't talk about Candy and the whole, as far as her and Todd and the issues they've been having. You didn't talk about the cookie lady. If anything, I would have at least thought that Bravo would have definitely brought up the cookie lady, but clearly, like I said, we don't know. Everything is all up in the air as of right now. So I'm really interested to see how this reunion goes. I'm not going to hold y'all long. I just wanted to let you know that if you haven't seen Michelle ATLien Brown live, go on over to her channel and check it out. I will post her YouTube name at the bottom, and that way y'all be able to, go and check it out and see for yourself, what I'm talking about. The actual part where Nene comes on is probably not going to be until the further end of the live because she didn't come on until like after like maybe the last 20 minutes, I want to say, of the live, because I came on like the last 30 minutes. So go check her out. It's Michelle, once again, Michelle ATL. I think it's ATLien Brown, ATLien Brown, Michelle ATLien Brown's live. Go on over there, check it out. Shout out to Michelle for letting me come on and share my, thoughts and opinion. And I'm gonna get off here because I gotta work. I'll see y'all later. Bye.